This truck has tiger stripes. That's pretty fun. This one is a disgusting, dirty, rusty mess. And this one is even more rusty and disgusting. Today was kind of a rough day. Nothing like super bad or anything. Just feeling kind of sick, kind of tired, and a little unmotivated and defeated and having a bunch of chores to do. So I didn't do a lot of like hobby related things today, but I did work on these 3 Gaslands vehicles a little bit. I didn't quite finish them, but I did get some paint on them and a whole lot of rust. You know, really slick, cool, chrome, futuristic vehicles without any rust would be perfectly appropriate for Gaslands, but I'm not the person to do those. Maybe one day I will, but for now, I'm just like in the icky, yucky, rusty, goopy, gross Mad Max vehicle kind of stage of things. That's partially because I like it and partially because it's easier, at least for me. But whatever, that's fine. All right, let's look at this bad boy here, the Alberta rig. I painted tiger stripes on it. And when I say painted, I mean I used one of these Sharpie paint markers to draw some tiger stripes on it. And it's not amazing, but I actually think it looks pretty cool, or at least cool enough. Like, this is the kind of vehicle that some crazy psycho Gaslands driver painted to look like a tiger, not a pristine body shop. So I like it. I didn't go too crazy with rust on this one because it is already orange. I was able to be a little bit more reserved. Like, I guess it's done. I don't know. I feel like it could use another little detail, maybe something. I'm not sure what, but I think maybe just call it done and move on to others. This is where things start to get more rusty. One thing I noticed doing this one especially is that using the acrylic paint marker to do the panel lining was a lot harder because there's so many small nooks and crannies. It was hard to get the tip in there nice and clean, and then wiping off excess and leaving it in the creases where I wanted it was very difficult, just smudged everywhere. So yeah, this one ended up extra dirty because of that. And then I ended up putting lots of rust effects on it. I feel like it probably could use some kind of symbol or writing, but I'm not really sure what. Today was not the kind of day that I wanted to use the stamping tool. I didn't have a lot of patience today, knowing that I wouldn't be able to give things my full dedication and attention. I figured today's not the day to use that sort of tool. I also noticed using the markers on the tires didn't work as well on these 3D printed tires because they are so textured. They got like these treads and everything on them. I needed to bust out just some regular paint and a brush so I could put it on more watered down, which is fine. And then we got the real rusty rig here. This one is just caked in rust, for better or for worse. I do like the way it looks though. Again, I feel like it needs maybe something to offset all this rust, but I'm not sure what. But I do think it looks cool. I got the little message on the front. See, who knows what that's all about. I think it was appropriate for a truck that looks like this. I messed around a lot with the rust, really layering it and coming back and adding water once it was dried, and that kind of gave this sort of effect. I don't know, it's kind of nice. Like, this rust does look very good. I just feel like I should probably put in some effort to have everything not be just completely rusty. Or maybe that doesn't matter. Like, maybe this is a group of vehicles that are just really rusty. And maybe later in the future, I'll do something a little bit more slick looking. I think they look cool though. It's definitely cohesive. I did realize that, man, I have got an affinity for trucks though. Pickup truck, big lifted pickup truck. This isn't a truck, but it's definitely not a car. It's more like an SUV. And then one muscle car. I need some more muscle cars. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Are these done? Should I just like leave them as is and then move on to other things? I can always come back to them later if like I learn some new things or think of something cool to put on them. I don't know. What do you think? One of the kind of goals, or at least one of the fun things about these like daily hobby videos, these vlogs, is that it lets creators show a more realistic side of hobbying. You know, it's not every day that you do really involved, elaborate things. Sometimes you just do nothing. And then some days you just like put a little bit of rust effects on some cars and like that's all you got in you because life and you got other things going on and that's fine. Like going into making this video, I was feeling kind of down and kind of bummed out that I didn't have something more to show, but I think it's fine. I think it's good that I don't have more to show because we don't always accomplish a lot in a day and that's totally fine. And I mean, I did accomplish things today. I did laundry, I did chores, I ran some errands, I did back-end computer work, like administration stuff, like I got shit done. And I started cleaning up my basement a bit because I got to do a big move. Like this studio space is too small and too hot. And I need to move it to the basement. But that is a huge task. Like, that's a whole other video telling you about that task. But I did start by cleaning out some junk today, so there's that. I guess what I should actually be spending some time doing is reading the rules for this game. I have a really bad habit of making things for games without actually reading the rules or playing them. And sometimes I've been known to continuously keep building things as a way of avoiding sitting down and reading rules. The only thing that really gets me motivated to sit down and read is when I have like a scheduled event, when I'm actually gonna be playing it and there's some pressure, but otherwise I'm terrible at it. I'm gonna blame it on the dyslexia, making it hard to focus on reading. I gotta find some other local people to play with. Ideally, I'd like to play some games with folks that, have a good understanding of this game and are pretty competent in it, because I prefer being taught a game through playing than through reading. So anyways, if you're in Winnipeg and you play Gaslands, hit me up. Make it so I actually play the game rather than just making cars.